This is the Kia EV6, an electric car from Kia. And if you had said that to me 10 years ago, I'd have said, yeah, it's probably about as exciting as a beige cardigan. But this is nothing to be sniffed at. It's amazing. So the first thing you'll notice about the exterior of this car is it looks like Iron Man's helmet. The one on his head, by the way. If you come on round, I like this sort of black trim you've got with a red. It really pops. Like you've got these big, massive, aggressive looking wing mirrors that look like mascara's been applied to them or something like that. Side skirts are lovely and sporty as well with the black going down. You've got these sort of diamond cut black and silver rims, which look absolutely incredible too. One thing I'm not too sure about is this little plastic thing here. I'm just sort of thinking why, but I do like the sort of diamante design feature in the lights. Then you come on around the back, you've got this lovely sporty black diffuser at the bottom, and then the GT-Line badge, just to remind you that you're in the GT-Line. Welcome to the interior of the Kia EV6. Now, I thought the Kia EV3 was good, but this really is more my cup of tea. It's sporty, it's low down. I just love the driving position. Now, one thing I will say about the car, sitting in it, looking out at the mirrors, it's got a massive ass if you're driving this thing. That's where the cameras really do come in handy. But let's talk through the interior, right? I'm just sitting here. Everything feels really nice, really upper class, really well built. For a Kia, I mean, they've really ticked all the boxes. I mean, look at this central armrest here in the central reservation. I don't even know what that material is, but Jesus, it's nice. And it's smothered nicely across the top of the dash here, and it's stamped with a GT-Line badge, just to remind you that, yeah, you bought the GT-Line. Your infotainment system's absolutely perfect. I mean, you've got your wireless CarPlay, your Android Auto, it's got built-in maps, built-in navigation, all the information and bells and whistles that you need. You've got a virtual cockpit ahead of you here, and you've also got an on-window heads-up display, which is really, really good. I love the interior lighting of this car, actually. It really is lovely. It's in the door bins. It's here in this floating center console, by the way, which looks so futuristic and so nice. I know in the EV3 there's nothing really, well, you get a sort of IKEA fold-out table, but in this you've got this really futuristic looking floating center console. I just think it's lovely. On that you've got your ventilated seats, your heated steering wheel, you have your on-off button looking at you like a big massive boiled sweet. I love that. You've got your drive select mode, buttons for your cameras, auto hold, and this wireless charger, which is really conveniently placed for your phone, just right there, and it fits most phones, and the phones don't jiggle and roll about, which is absolutely perfect. Of course, under this floating center console, you've got loads of storage space down there. You've got some cigarette lighters, which is rare. You don't really find those in cars anymore because it's all USB-C and USB-A. In this case, we've no USB-A, but we do have USB-C. One for the passenger, one for the driver as well. So you're pretty spoilt. And of course, two for the kids in the back. Kia, very clever. If you're on a long journey with the kids, they're sitting in the back. They need somewhere to charge their tablets or their iPads. Kia's thought of that. And look, you get them built into the back of the driver and passenger seats. I mean, that is just a little detail that goes a really long way. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, it doesn't have a panoramic roof. No, but it does have a sort of half panoramic roof. You've got a sunroof here. Like, remember back in the good old days, we used to have to wind it like that? Well, obviously that's a thing of yesteryear. This wee switch, it just closes over nicely. However, there are, of course, some little down points to the interior that I don't quite like, and it's, I mean, this sort of climate control here, I mean, how small is that? When I'm driving, I'm trying to reach and turn up the thing, but my big fat fingers are sort of going to struggle to hit those buttons there. However, they have redeemed themselves by giving us a little swivelly knob for the temperature control, and I prefer knobs than touching. That sounds wrong. I prefer physical buttony knobs than touch. It's always going to sound wrong. I like knobs. Give me knobs. Yeah, it sounds really wrong. So I have the driver's seat in my position, and knee room, well, there is a demi, to be perfectly honest. Headroom, you do have a little bit there, maybe about 4 or 5 finger gap. So much you have sort of above your head, but it is fairly comfortable. I mean, if kids are sitting in the back, they won't have a problem. If adults are sitting in the back, you might have a slight problem. By the way, I almost forgot boot space. Kia reckon you get about 480 litres worth of boot space, as you can see. Do you know what? I took this car to the dump and I got a hell of a lot of stuff in the boot. In fact, I put down the rear seats, which almost do fold completely flat, by the way, so you've got a pretty flat load bay. But I didn't even need them folded down. It all fit in the boot. Let's cover range very quickly. Kia reckon you're going to get up to 324 miles off a full charge in the Kia EV6, but I could tell you now, the way I'm driving it, you're certainly not going to get that kind of range. That obviously depends on the way you drive it, the mode you drive it in, you know, the weather, how cold it is. Depends on a lot of things. But see, to be honest, I know a lot of people are negative when it comes to electric cars and they're going, oh, no, Joe, we don't have the infrastructure. Oh, electric car, my diesel will drive to China and back. And that's great. Yes, it will. You will have to stop to refuel. This charges itself when I'm in bed at night. Okay, I know people give off about the charging prices in some garages and all that. That's fine. But if you get a home charger, you can set it to charge overnight on the cheaper tariffs. And I mean, I don't really have to go to a petrol station ever again. Even, do you ever get when you go out to work in the morning, you get into a petrol car or a diesel car and you look and you go, ah, shit, there's no fuel. And then the dreaded fuel light comes on. Never happens with an electric car because you charge it overnight. So there are some perks. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't be buying an electric car if you're going to be doing 700 miles in a week, because it's just not the right thing for you to buy. You got to be sensible with those kind of choices. But electric cars suit me because I'm only really up and down to work every single day. And I mean, my wife has the petrol car if we need a petrol car, you know what I mean? So I know people can be quite hard on electric cars, but I do like it. So to sum up, the Kia EV6 is fast, stylish, sporty, and electric, which means I hate it. I love it.